Welcome to Coffee, Calm and Connection Bite Size, where we deliver key takeaways from our full interviews on current topics from mental health experts.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And it's personal experience asking the question. Would you want it to not be you that's called when the children are ill?
That's a good question. Well, I would, to be honest, right? There would be times when I would actually think, well, no, this responsibility shouldn't always be mine to be the one that sorts it all the time. So I'd always want to have the call, but the burden of trying to sort it all out on your shoulders all the time, it's not fair, you know. And and blokes, I think they go around their work pretty unfettered by that kind of stress. It's not the same.
I agree. I agree to a certain extent because it does naturally fall to us as the mum. But one of the things that I think, because I've done an awful lot of self-evaluation, so this is just me. This is me not putting on anyone else, but this is just me. So I see it, I feel it, I know how to manage it. I've got an intuition there that tells me actually this particular injury that my child is telling me is, requiring amputation and immediate surgery is actually really not that bad. Really calm down, versus something's wrong here and I know. And I have an intuition about it that my husband doesn't have. And that, I think, is genetics, because, we've got maternal instinct that is, it's genetics, it's evolution, it's there. And because I'm aware of my own intuition and how much stronger or probably more accurate it is in respect of some things than my husband, I can't let that control go. So there'll be times, because Neil actually, schools have both of our numbers, and if they don't get me, they go for Neil. And I'd say probably in our circumstances, it's 50-50 in terms of who picks that up. But if Neil picks it up, I can't help but stick my nose in. Like, did you give them Calpol? How much did you give them? Did you give the 6+ or the 0? Did you write down the time, because we're going to need to give ibuprofen in 3 hours time? Did you take the temperature and all of that stuff? And it's not because Neil's a bad person or useless in any way. It's just, I think it, I feel it, I own it in a way that he never will, because he hasn't got the genetic in him to do that. I'm not speaking for all men, I'm not speaking for all women. I just wonder what your take on that is.
It's interesting you should say that, because I was actually having a conversation with my partner last night about hearing and the genetic of actually being able to hear your kids. Now, I'm partially deaf. I can't hear him. I can't hear all sorts of things. But one of them coughs in the night, at 3 a.m., I'm wide awake. And in a way that he isn't. And he's got much better hearing than me. And we often marvel at it. This has been the case, for 7 years. And he'll go, you could sleep through anything. You could sleep through an earthquake. But one of them coughs and, you're wide awake. And he's the other way. He's a really light sleeper. But he can sleep through all sorts. And in the early years, that caused resentment, because I'd be there thinking, can you not hear this screaming and crying? Why are you not up dealing with this? How can you sleep? But I think it's the genetic programming, because they genuinely
I think so too.
And we're wired to hear it,